Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. It's Premier League predictions for the upcoming weekend. There were so many goals at the weekend, and Sophie, you did so well on the predictions. You're killing it.
I'm running away with it now, aren't I? Look, but to be fair, 11 is really good.
Yeah.
5's not bad, but 11 is something else.
Yeah, to be fair, like I say guys, if you want to go down to the bookies, maybe have a go on Sophie's bets.
Do you know who I predict quite a lot? Chelsea. I might actually start backing some of my predictions. I get Chelsea ones right. Don't know why.
There you go. Before we get into this video, guys, as ever, do hit that like button, do subscribe. We'll go for 200 likes, and do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's get straight into the predictions with an interesting game on the Friday night. Brentford take on Brighton. It's two sides that look very solid in the Premier League. Brighton probably a little bit more so recently. Brentford got a pasting at Newcastle 5-1, but they're still good enough to bounce back pretty soon. But Brighton, it's a tricky game. Brighton did lose, but they only lost 1-0 to Spurs. Brighton are trying to figure out what they're going to do for their season now, obviously with the managerial change and stuff. But I might back Brentford just being at home. They need a reaction to that Newcastle defeat. I'll say 2-1 to the Bees.
Yeah, do you know what sometimes happens? Like after both teams lose the game, they might then draw the next, and I think that's going to play out. I do think it's going to be quite a tough game. Like, it's tough to predict, so I think it's going to be quite a tough one. So I'm going to have to say a draw, and I'll say 1-1. Okay.
Next up, we'll go to the King Power. This is big. Leicester City, bottom of the table, take on Crystal Palace. Now, Palace did well at the weekend. They beat Leeds 2-1. That was one of your predictions you got spot on. Meanwhile, Leicester City lost to Bournemouth, having taken the lead. And you think the Forest game for them would have been the kickstart. They won 4-0. It was a great reaction. Losing to Bournemouth isn't great. And if they lose this, the pressure's massive. I think they will lose this. I think Palace are so much more organised than Leicester. Don't have much trust in that Leicester back line. Too casual for me. So I'm going to say Leicester City 1, Crystal Palace 2.
Yeah, I think there might be a few more goals, actually. I think Palace looked quite good against quite a strong Leeds side, to be honest. And Leicester didn't look very good against Bournemouth, which was strange after their Forest performance because they played very, very well and it was a very dominant display. So I think they're going to lose again. But for me, it's going to be a Palace 3-1 win. Palace
3-1. Okay, next up we'll go to Craven Cottage, as it's two of the newly promoted sides, Fulham and Bournemouth, locking horns. And I've got to say, I'm excited for this game because they've both done so well so far. Fulham have lost a couple of games recently, but they're still up in that top half and holding their own. Meanwhile, Bournemouth, great win against Leicester City. And do you know what? They've only lost to very good teams so far this season. So I really don't know. I like Fulham at home, and I think they'll see this as winnable. But I don't see Bournemouth losing, so I'm going to sit on the fence and say a very exciting 2-2 draw.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to back a draw as well. If this was at the Vitality, I think maybe Bournemouth would slightly edge it. However, it's at Craven Cottage, so I do see it being quite a tough game, so 1-1 for me.
Yeah, massive game. That's an exciting one. Yeah. And the next one is even bigger because it's 18th versus 19th, Wolves versus Forest. Now, Wolves are in bad form, to be honest. They lost 3-0 to Chelsea. As you say, you got that one correct. And they just don't seem to be... They actually look like a bottom 5 team at the moment. They probably deserve to be where they are. I'm not even going to make any excuses for Wolves. And Nottingham Forest, a similar story. Yeah, they've not been great. However, a better, more respectable performance against Villa. They did pick up a 1-1 draw. And something I said, they need to maybe start Emmanuel Dennis. He got a goal after 15 minutes. So at least they've got that depth that they can rotate a bit, and they could be versatile, and maybe they could start to gel. That draw has stopped the rot. But Forest, I'm not massively convinced by on the road. Wolves, I'm not massively convinced by in general. I might say a draw, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to back a 1-1 as well. I do think this could go either way, actually, because it sounds harsh, but at the moment it's kind of two poor teams going at it, so it really could go either way. So I can't really decide, so I'll just back a 1-1.
Yeah, it's a tough game to separate. Let me know your thoughts down below. Next up, Tottenham take on Everton, and Tottenham, yeah, a good win against Brighton, and Everton, yeah, they put up a fight against Manchester United, but yeah, Man United just did show a bit more quality. But Everton look better
I didn't think that was a bad performance, you know, against United. I thought
agree.
It was quite good.
I think Everton already look a bit better than they were last season, especially in these recent games. Everton are putting in a bit of a fight, but to get something at Spurs might be a bit too much for me. I think they could give it a go, but I do fancy Spurs. I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Tottenham, which almost sounds contrary to what I've just said about Everton's performances, but they're not really getting the points where it matters. They are putting in good performances, but they're coming up against a really strong Spurs team for me, so I can't see them getting the win, so I'm going to back Spurs 2-0.
Okay, next up, Aston Villa take on Chelsea. This is a big game. Aston Villa have actually gone 4 games without losing, but there's still pressure on Gerrard because they haven't climbed the table massively. They need to get more wins, but I don't know if they're going to beat Chelsea, who've looked pretty good under Graham Potter. I think Villa will give it a go. I do think when they're at home, that crowd can make a bit of a difference, and there's certainly quality in that squad. What a goal by Ashley Young against Nottingham Forest, and you know, you've got Coutinho, Buendia, if you can get them firing. I think Danny Ings is someone I'd like to see start, but I'm going to go for Chelsea. Too much quality. I'll say 2-1.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is going to be quite a tough game because Villa Park, the atmosphere there is amazing and it's daunting for the players. However, Chelsea, the team's used to it, so I think they're going to pick up the win. I'm going to say 2-0. 2-0.
Okay, next up to Ellen Road, as it's Leeds United turn to try and stop this Arsenal side. Arsenal, well done, smashed Liverpool. Well, they beat them 3-2, but yeah, do you know what I mean? They beat them and they're smashing it in terms of form.
Yeah.
We did back them to win that, and I think we've got to back them here. Leeds United, they lost to Palace. Before that, they drew with Villa. So they're in these games, but I don't see them quite getting anything from this. I might go for them to score, but I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal. I was going to say 3-1 as well, but actually sometimes Arsenal's defence can look solid. It's just they're quite inconsistent as well. But I can see them getting the win here, and I think it's going to be quite a convincing one, so 3-0.
Okay, massive game. Next up to Old Trafford as Manchester United take on Newcastle United. Man United have bounced back fairly well since the Man City defeat. They've been winning in the Europa League, and they got the win against Everton, having to come from behind. Cristiano Ronaldo on the score sheet. Newcastle, though, winning 5-1. You can't ignore that. They smashed Brentford, and before that, they beat Fulham 4-1. So they've scored 9 in the last 2 Premier League games. Monsters. This is obviously a harder test for Newcastle. This is a really tricky one. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 1.
Okay, you're back in a draw. I see United winning this. I think if they start Ronaldo, they've got a better chance, to be honest. Like, great goal for him, but that's just clinical. Ronaldo there. I can see there being goals though, and for both teams. So I'm going to say 3-2 United.
Whoa, that'd be a crazy game. What a prediction if you get that one. Next up to St Mary's as Southampton take on West Ham. Southampton could do with a win. West Ham United did get a win last time against Fulham, having to come from behind. And you just start to think West Ham are going to...
Is it starting to click?
Yeah, they are going to start getting back up the table. I think I will back them here. But Southampton need to look at these games and say, we've got to try and get points soon, because if the bottom 3 get a move on, Southampton are in that position to slip in. So Southampton needs something, but I think they'll just fall short. I think West Ham have got their mojo back. 2-1 Hammers.
Yeah, I'm going to back West Ham win as well. I'm going to say 2-0. They've been looking pretty good recently. It seems to have just clicked, and that Skamaka's looking very good too.
Yes. Okay, next up is the last game, and it's at Anfield. It's a cracker. Liverpool versus Manchester City. The thing that makes this more interesting is that Liverpool are at home. I don't think I back them to get anything at the Etihad, but as bad as they've been, they're always capable at home. But Manchester City are the monsters. Obviously, Arsenal are keeping themselves top for now, but we all think realistically Man City are going to overtake them. Haaland is scoring goals for fun. There's just so much quality in that Man City team. I just think Liverpool, being at Anfield, might be able to, with that crowd behind them, get something. Liverpool 2, Man City 2.
No, the form Liverpool are in there are absolutely shocking. I think they're dreadful. So I don't see them getting anything from this. I think maybe they'll score, but for me, Man City are going to win. So 3-1 Man City.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay, that wraps up our Premier League predictions, guys. Get your thoughts down below. As ever, do drop a like and do subscribe. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.